When you read in the book of Exodus 20:11, the Bible shows us that God worked for exactly 6 days, and on the 7th day God rested. Hence the 7th day became the Sabbath, and God blessed the Sabbath, and he made that day of not working became the day of rest. But again, when you read in the same Bible, when you read in the book of Colossians 2:16-17, the Bible shows us that the Sabbath is the shadow of the things to come. Hence the Sabbath should be the shadow of or something to come. So let's find out this a thing which shows that the Sabbath is the shadow of it. So let's go back to Exodus 20:11. According to Exodus 20:11, it shows us that God worked for exactly 6 days and rested on the 7th day. But do you know, according to the same Bible, the Bible shows us that calling upon the name of the Lord is similar to doing the work of God. And people began, or I can say men began, to call upon the name of the Lord when Enos was born. When you read the book of Genesis 4:26, it shows us that men actually began to call upon the name of the Lord when Enos was born. So it was during that time when men actually began to do the works of God. So before we go to the 6,000 years, first of all, we need to find out when exactly was Enos born. So according to the research and the revelation that we have, we came to conclude and we came to know that Enos was born in 3930 BC. So the works of God by men began in 3930 BC. So now we come to the most interesting part, because according to the book of Peter, it shows us that to God, one day can represent 1,000 years. But according to Genesis, it shows that God worked for 6 days, and those were just 6 literal days according to the Bible timeline. But the works of God by men will be done for exactly 6 prophetic days, which are 6,000 years. And on the 7th day, it will be the millennial kingdom of Christ. So when you gather all this information, you come to conclude that the beginning of the 6,000 years began in 3930 BC when Enos was born, because this is a period when men actually began to call upon the name of the Lord, similar to doing the works of God, because God worked for exactly 6 literal days, but his works by men will be done for exactly 6 prophetic days according to the book of Peter, which is 6,000 years. And on the beginning of the 7,000th year, it will be the beginning of the day of rest, the 7th day of rest, and this will be the period of the millennial reign of Christ. So adding 6,000 years to 3930 BC takes us to exactly 2070 AD, and this will be the beginning of the millennial reign of Christ. And it will be during this period where Lucifer will be bound for exactly 1,000 years before his race.